All right, welcome back to the Ask Mama podcast. This is episode 9, as I believe. Yeah. Episode 9 of the Ask Mama podcast, where you ask the advice of my mama, a mama with some sense. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to start off with 5 minutes of trash. And this week, the trash, I think his name is Clay. From Love is Blind. Ain't that the show that everybody? Now, just to be clear, I do not watch Love is Blind. But just to show you how much this story of AD and Clay has taken over social media, someone, me, who doesn't watch the show, knows everything about AD and Clay because TikTok said I had to know every gruesome detail of this debacle wedding. So just a short recap. AD and Clay were two black people on this show. And they were supposed to get married after the whole premise of the show is they can't see each other while they're getting to know each other, and they decide whether or not they're going to wed. And they finally do. Get to the wedding. She comes down the aisle. She says yes. He smiles at her, smiles at her parents, and the whole thing looks like a beautiful little fairy tale. And then he gets up there and says, you know what? No. And so, of course, the internet, most people, like when I first saw the guy, I knew he was a F-boy. Okay? For all the children. And for the PG-13 version, this was a F-boy walking if I ever saw one before. But because the Love is Blind thing, because she couldn't see him, she didn't know she was actually communicating with an F-boy.
Oh my God.
And so how do you feel, Lamar, about the results of this show? How do you feel about Clay?
How do you wait until you get somebody down the aisle to say, oops, I'm sorry, no, this is not going to work out for me? Even after she said I do. I feel like you knew that from the beginning. Yeah. So why did you not say anything? Was it because you wanted to stay on the show?
You just hit it right there. Because this man, people go on these shows to amplify their careers. Whatever they're doing, they're trying to get shine. They little 15 minutes of fame. 15 minutes of fame is no small thing. It can turn into currency.
Yep.
And so a lot of people like him go on these shows for their 15 minutes to try to get their money up. And that's what he did. Not to mention, don't forget all the girls that's probably like in his DMs like, oh, forget about her. I'm here for you and this, that, because a thought is a thought is a thought, and they're everywhere, right?
You saying thought or thought? A thought
is a thought is a thought.
Well, oh my God.
What you think, Ma?
I think this is probably where they came up with the term shotgun wedding, because he really needed, okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm taking it too far.
Yeah, we can't get
but
to the violence.
He ought to be ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
Okay, but she should be happy right now because she really dodged a terrible human being. So now she doesn't have to go through divorce, and she doesn't have to go through living with this clown. So she really, I know she's a strong girl though.
Yeah.
She's over it. I'm pretty sure she's over it. She's a beautiful little girl. Hey, Clay, you had your day. It's over.
Let me just say, for those of you who haven't seen the actual scene of the wedding when he says no, let me just tell you that AD, the way she left out of there with her head held high, she turned around, walked out, and her entire family followed her in a single file line of strength and dignity. and he just stood there looking like the clown that he is.
That's right.
So that's what I'm grateful for, because what I can't stand is how a lot of times black people on reality TV shows are meant to go on there and look ridiculous, especially black women. They love when we lose our temper and we're yelling and cussing somebody out. It's like, it's gold. It's TV gold. And she didn't give them that. She didn't give him that.
Class act.
And I love it. So, AD, you get all the stars. You get all the applause. You got somebody great out there that probably saw this show and was like, that's my wife.
She beautiful.
And that's what's going to happen. I believe that wholeheartedly. And yes, Mama, you are completely right. She dodged a bullet.
She did.
What a blessing that she don't have to deal with this man ever again.
Right.
And that it totally backfired on him. To the point where he tried to put out a video explaining himself and trying to tell everybody, I'm a high value man, and I got a lot going on in my life, and I'm this and I'm that. I mean, this has completely backfired on him on that scope. He has lost it. Of course, like I said before, the thoughts will come a running, but who cares? You guys deserve each other, and I wish you well. Yeah. But other than that, this man is trash.
Yeah,
thank God she's done with him.
Amen.
Absolutely.
I think her name, AD, if she look at it, God knew. Your life will begin after that. So she know what's going on. AD is in there. I'm telling you what I know. I see you, AD. She knows. She know what this means.
I can't.
I'm telling you what I know, baby.
Ooh-wee.
Your life
and
will
that's
begin.
5 minutes of trash. That's 5 minutes of
I'm just saying, baby. Go on, AD.
The Lord knew.
He knew. After that, baby. Yes, sir.
Oh, my stomach.
I want these two to not tie that.
That's right. There it is, girl. See? She see it.
All right. We're going to keep it together, y'all. We're going to
Praise
keep
the
it.
Lord.
That was 5 minutes of trash. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is called Black Owned Spotlight, where we spotlight black-owned businesses. And I'm going to start us off with my business for the week. It is called Bronzeville Winery, and it is in Bronzeville in Chicago, Illinois. It's at 4420 South Cottage Grove Avenue, and it's a winery. Like, I don't drink, but I went there, met up with some people up there, and it is such a vibe. And they have food. It's a very cool, like, hangout spot. So if you drink, of course, they have wonderful selection. Look like a really nice selection of wine, obviously. But they also have food, and it's all these little different tables, and they have events there as well. And it's a black-owned winery, which is not something that is around a lot. I don't think there's another black winery in Chicago, actually. So if you can, go and check out Bronzeville Winery.
Bronzeville has some great places.
Yeah.
Mine is in the same area. It's called Ain't She Sweet Cafe.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So you all go check out Ain't She Sweet Cafe. It's at 526 East 43rd Street in Bronzeville.
All right.
All right.
All right. So my black-owned business is BMU, and that is Black Men United. It is a national community service organization that focuses on the restoration and rebuilding of black communities across America under the leadership of black men.
Wow.
Awesome.
Nice.
So look them up and check them out. They do things across the city all the time.
Beautiful.
And everything is usually completely free.
All right. So we gave y'all some really good black-owned businesses. The reason we do this is very simple. Economic power is something that the black community as a whole has never had. We have it individually, but never as a full community.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of the reason is, of course, systemic racism, but the other part is that we ourselves are not devoting our money to each other. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to spend the money anyway, you need to be reaching out to black-owned businesses. It needs to be a mentality. Mm-hmm. And I think that's definitely the reason why we bring up black-owned businesses every episode. So if you have a black-owned business and you want us to give you a shout-out on the show, please DM us on TikTok or Instagram at Ask Mama Podcast. Also, if you want to ask Mama a question, you can also DM us on Instagram and TikTok at Ask Mama Podcast. So that's the same route to get in touch with us. So now we're going to move on to the questions. Okay. We're going to ask Mama.
All right.
All right. The first question is, what do you think about body count? How differently it looks between men and women, whether gay or straight?
I think society has always came from a misogynistic place. The women, of course, are judged on, an entirely different scale than men. But I think, personally, having a high body count, period, for male or female, is not a good thing. I mean, what kind of race is that? I don't, I think our bodies are sacred, male and female. And so it shouldn't just be something thrown away or given to anyone, in my opinion. But I don't think less of a woman for her body count as I would a man. I'm pretty even when it comes to that. I reject that men have a right to have as many partners. Who cares about the number? And when it comes to women, you should be able to count on one hand. I don't accept it. I think it's should be even. If you expect me to have a low body count, then you should have one too. That's my take on it.
Lamar?
Okay. So being a male, growing up being a male, being a gay male, right? I've definitely experienced this double standard in the gay world between feminine energy gay men and masculine energy gay men. And I think it stems from, regardless of what your sexual orientation is, a lot of our elders teach our boys that if you have multiple sexual partners, you are more masculine. Mm-hmm. That's what they teach, as opposed to the girls, the opposite, right? I firmly believe, at the end of the day, what I did before you is none of your business. Why do you care about my body count? Okay? Because I'm not asking you about yours. Quite frankly, I don't want to know. Has nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel about it. I don't feel it should be a big deal, and it should not even be brought up. Mm-hmm. Why? And then you want this woman to be in heteronormative situation. You want this woman to be able to do all of these things for you sexually and satisfy you sexually. A woman with a low body count is going to equal inexperience. So are you going to have the patience to teach her, or are you going to already want her to come learn it? If she is learned in those sexual acts, then she probably has a high body count. So it's all these double standards, and I think everyone is just going along with what is on social media, what's popular, what's trending, when really just treat a person as an individual, and I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, for me, the whole body count thing, it always seems to be something brought up by a man. This is just a fact. Like I have never heard with girlfriends or women in general bringing up, well, I asked him about his body count. So it's already showing you it's a misogynistic idea to even ask someone about how many sexual partners they've had. How, on the other end of it, it's like, I think that you should be starting over. In any relationship, it's supposed to be you're just starting out. Whatever happened was in the past. And it just hits me wrong because men are always talking about women bringing the past into their relationships, bringing what happened with these other men. See, that happened with them other men, and you bringing that into this. So if I am not supposed to bring in my baggage into these new relationships, wouldn't that include how many sexual partners I've had?
Bingo.
And so it's just, it's hypocrisy at its finest for me. And a lot of times when guys bring this up, I already know you're either the kind of guy that hasn't really had a lot of partners but says they do. Because I think a lot of these dudes are like projecting. They want to be seen as these players that got these Rolodex of women that they've conquered or whatever, and that's a whole thing. And like you're saying, they're raised to think that this is what makes them a man. Either way, if you're that type of person, male or female, that brings up body count, you are not dateable. To me, you're not dateable.
Yeah.
I mean, you're immature, and you're definitely emotionally immature. You have no business being in anybody's real relationship. So I think that's the take home from that. Do not get involved with somebody that wants to know your body count. They're not dateable.
It's crazy.
You will not have a good and healthy relationship with them.
Yeah.
I have had someone tell me to my face before we were even in anything closely resembling a relationship, I, meaning him, I can have multiple sexual partners and have sex with multiple people, but you cannot. This is what he said to me.
Wow.
As he was trying, in the name of trying to get to know me so that we could date one another. So this is the mindset that a lot of people have. It's disturbing.
Right. Yeah, a lot of guys have it in their head like, you should only be dating me, you should only be sleeping with me, I should be the only one. Even in the dating stage, even before you're committed. Even though that's definitely not what they're doing.
No.
So I think we've all kind of been circling around that root of it's how you're raised. Like I think these guys have to be raised differently. Like, and if you weren't raised right, because in my mind that means you weren't raised right, because that has nothing to do with being a man. I think it's awful to have a body count just to say you do.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a high body count because you thought you were in love all these different times, because there's definitely people like that they fall in love quick and they give themselves and then they regret it and it's just terrible for them. They feel that it's hard, but the people that are out there just sleeping with people to get another number is. You gotta feel bad about yourself. There's something wrong with venturing out and just trying to do a tally of another human being. That's sick. This is supposed to be a union, a beautiful thing that you share with another person. It's not supposed to be like just an exercise in, let me add this to my spreadsheet. That's
like
disgusting.
A sport. That sounds like some type of game.
And that's immaturity, like I said. So it all comes back to immaturity for me. Yeah.
Body count sounds like the morgue. I just it's a bad.
Well, you could end up in the morgue.
Yeah, you really could.
STDs are real.
Yeah, it's true.
People die from some of them.
Yeah.
So don't be playing no games. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So let's move on to the next question. Lamar, what you got?
Right. So my first question is, I slept with 2 people, found out I was pregnant, and I don't know who the father is. My boyfriend of 2 years doesn't know. What should I do?
Wow.
Run to the altar, girl. Good God Almighty. This is bad situation you put yourself in. Talk about body count.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. You need to be honest. You need to.
To who?
Well, to all involved, you need to be honest to yourself, your partner of 2 years, and this random guy. But first of all, I think it's a test you can take. You need to tell all of them, take the test, find out who this father is, because you can take a test.
While you're pregnant?
Yes,
Oh.
and they draw fluid or whatever, and both of the guys have to be notified, and they get their DNA, and you can find out. But this is not something that I would wait to do. I'm sorry. You need to, the 2-year relationship, you need to tell him you cheated, and possibly this may not be his child.
This is dangerous.
Very.
It is, but you gotta tell the truth. To lie about something this important will only get worse. I mean, you've made your bed, lady, and all y'all lied in it, but I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
But you, I'm sorry.
It took me a second because it was like, you made your bed. And I'm like, wait a minute, all of them lied.
They all lied in that one. But you gonna have to be honest, sweetheart. There is no other way. I mean, you go wait till the baby's born. You don't want to wait and say, who it look. You can't do that. You've got to get the test done and be honest, because pregnancy is so difficult and emotional anyway. You don't want to carry 9 months of who's this baby's daddy. That would be terrible. So you find out who that father is, sweetheart.
Lamar?
Can we talk about having discipline in multiple realms of life? Why are we just so freely giving of ourselves and not protecting ourselves? And it's only adding to the plight of our community as a whole. It's not helping. This is horrible. And we're repeating this cycle again and again and again and again.
It is.
If you do tell them, I wouldn't do it in person. That's what I would say. If you do tell your partner of 2 years this, I would not do it in person, because you might not make it out. That's all I really have for this situation. It's a tough situation.
It's very tough.
Yeah, first of all, you definitely can't wait, because what you would be doing is taking the experience of the birth away from whoever the real father is. They might actually want to be there when their child is born, and if the wrong guy's there and he goes through that experience thinking that's his child, I think that's just the worst thing you could do. Is take that away from a father and also deny that experience. Now later on they have to know that wasn't even a child. They didn't really experience that for the first time. So I agree with both of you that obviously needs to be told. I don't agree with not in person. I agree it should be in person. I agree that you should have people with you. I think it should not be a situation where you're alone, whether that means bringing some of your family members with you. As long as you're not by yourself, then I feel like you can tell the guy you cheated with or with some people with you, and tell your boyfriend with some people with you. I think that's the only safe way to go about it, but there's no way around it because you need to find out who it is. And yeah, your relationship is probably over. And that's just that's called life lesson.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means to be an adult. You have to learn from your mistakes and take accountability.
Yes, Lord.
And that's what this moment is for you. This is a moment of accountability. You need to show that you're mature, that you're an adult, because an adult handles their business.
Yeah.
And in the future, you now know you can't be reckless with yourself.
No.
So hopefully you've learned that lesson and this never happens again. But you really don't deserve a good dude if that's what this man was, because you cheated on him and you put him through all of this. You can't expect for him to want anything to do with you. So I really, it's up in the air. Maybe
He might.
maybe not. But most of the time with a guy, you cheat on a guy, it's over.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a guy getting cheated on and staying.
Right.
Women do it all the time.
Every day.
Men do not. So what I'm saying is you really need to just get it in your mind that you messed that up. And however it plays out, it plays out. But you need to step up and be honest. But bring your family with you. Your mama or your uncle or somebody's got to come.
The police.
And and watch out for you in that moment, because it's a very dangerous situation you put yourself in.
Yes.
And she might have used protection. Sometimes protection doesn't work.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, obviously, but
You know.
my thing is not just protection, but just in doing it in the first place.
Shouldn't have done
just
that. Right, of
randomly sleeping with somebody
Oh,
and
my
you're in a
God.
relationship already.
Right.
It's so crazy.
Irresponsible.
It's so irresponsible.
And it happens. This can happen. That you should not do that. Oh, that's
It's amazing to me how many young people never think of the consequences of sex. They just start thinking of it as something that feels good, or something that they can do with this person or that person.
Yeah.
And they never think, even when and a lot of times, because you talking to your friends and stuff, and you be like, yeah, but we use protection, so I can't believe this happened. It's 99%.
Right.
That means there's a whole percent out there that are babies and adults walking around are from that 1%.
Yes.
Birth control is 99. Condoms are 99. These are 99. There's nothing out there.
Exactly.
Short of tying your tubes or getting a vasectomy that will stop you from having a baby.
it sure.
Okay? For all the children in the back. For
Right.
all the fools that's, 20 years old and think it can't happen to them.
Right.
My God, you fool.
And so that because the babies get caught in the middle.
Exactly.
Yeah, poor baby.
Because now you're going to have this baby and there's
Dude,
going to be
yeah.
dysfunction from the very beginning.
From the beginning.
And you could have just had a child with who you were with and lived happily ever after.
Oh, that's so
and that's
sad.
the regret you're going to have to live with too.
Yeah.
Because, that's just a part of life when you make bad choices. It doesn't make you a terrible person. Doesn't mean that you can't be redeemed. You always can. But you have to go about things the right way after you do something like this.
Tell the truth.
That's right.
That's it.
That's the right thing.
Let's move on to the next question. All right. The next question is, I'm a mother and having a hard time connecting with my 16-year-old son. Any advice?
Well, teenagers, as we know, are sometimes difficult. Sometimes they're not. You're having problems connecting. I would say try all you can to keep the communication with your son open. Don't push so hard. Try to get involved in maybe some of his activities. If he's into sports, make sure you go to the games. And if he's into music, make sure you support that. Be supportive mainly, and talk talk about yourself, because sometimes kids need to know that you're human and you went through things when you were a teen, and talk about some of that sometimes and ask him what he thinks about some things, like get him involved so that he can feel more, oh, she asked me what I thought. Try to get him to look at you as a person and not just a mother. And then maybe that'll help with the connection to him. Because a lot of kids, you don't know what he's going through in school, if he's being bullied. And boys won't say sometimes because they just don't want to tell their moms that. But try to be supportive, keep the lines of communication open, and get him involved with some discussions when you're in the car or somewhere quiet. If you go out to eat, talk about some different things. Ask him what he thinks about certain things, and maybe that can draw him closer.
Mm-hmm. Lamar, what do you think?
I would say that, being a mother, you're always going to be the mother. But with a mother and son relationship, even a mother and daughter relationship, there are different chapters that encompass that relationship. He's 16 years old. He's a teenager. He's dealing with a whole lot of emotions. Mm-hmm. His hormones, everything is probably all over the place. He's trying to understand it. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what their situation is, if she's a single mother or not. But what I would say is, at this chapter of you all's relationship, he may need to be around more men. And I would say help him find healthy-minded men to be role models and to be able to talk to and disclose different feelings, because he might not feel comfortable with talking with you about certain things. So I know that it might seem, and sometimes for a mother, I know because women are more emotional, that can be hard to kind of give that away. But it's not that you are giving away your son or that you're giving away your authority over him, but just give him a different outlet, because no one can really help a man understand what becoming a man is other than a man. Mm-hmm. So that's my giveaway.
I think that a lot of this is not thinking your mother would understand. Mm-hmm. And I think male or female, a mother understands both better than anybody. Because for me, I think specifically a mother is better equipped to talk to a boy a lot of times, because no one knows more about men than women. And vice versa. Like, there's so much that can be gained from our perspective on being a man. Because we know what a real man looks like, regardless of whether or not he's in the home or not. But I think a big part for me of being close with my mom my whole life, and me and my sibling, we always knew we could talk to my mom. We always did. But that was more so because she left the gates open for me to, I would test the waters and bring something up. And I wouldn't be shot down, and I wouldn't be turned away. And there are moments with your children where you may be busy or whatever. These are those moments where you can't blow them off and say you'll talk to them later, or, I got too much on my mind right now, whatever. Because they're going to test the waters with you and just mention something. And if you don't grab a hold of it and have that conversation right then and there, they will close up and close down. And sometimes that happens because you're really busy. Parents are busy. They're working and they're taking care of the kids and doing the whole. And a mother has so many responsibilities, whether she's in the home, a single parent, or has a husband. So much is still put on a woman in that regard. So you have to know that if he brings something up, you really gotta
stop what you're doing because this is the moment, and it might not come again. And because if this don't work out, he's not gonna reach out like that again. Also, I would concur with Mama when she mentioned tell him stuff about you, because when I learned what my mother went through in life, I saw her, and I was like, wow, okay. So then when stuff started happening in my life, I knew she would understand because I knew all of what she had been through. And knowing that history, it's not just about telling him what it was for you when you were 16. It's about telling him what it was for you your whole life up to now. They need to know the backstory of you. What was it like when you had me? How hard was it? My mama went hungry so that me and my brother could eat. Knowing that gauged my whole view of her differently. You know what I'm saying? But if I didn't know that, I could be like, man, my mom, she, that's when you start developing these resentments towards your parents, or you stay away from them, or you don't want to really be, because you don't really know what they've been through. But when you do, you can't, it's like, there's no unknowing that.
Yeah.
And so I would suggest not just tell him, you know, and you ain't got to tell him all in one swoop, but just different moments in time when stuff happens. Like she's saying, you go out with him or you're in the car or something like that. He's like, man, when I was like 25, this happened to me. When I was in college, this happened. When I was in it, you just give a little story every now and then. Give another little story. You've got all of them. You've got all these stories that make up who you are. And when they can see you, then they know that they can come to you.
That's right.
And that's just how I believe, what I believe about it.
And she wants to have a closer relationship with him. She wants to bring him in so they can be closer, which I think is so sweet.
Yeah. That's vulnerability. That takes vulnerability.
So, be human with him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Be human, not, on this pedestal and looking down on, so that he'll feel that comfort and that safety and trust you.
Yeah.
Because then if he trusts you, then y'all can talk like that. And he'll tell you things and ask his opinion because he's got one.
Yeah.
He's a growing young man.
And also, like Lamar is saying, there is nothing wrong with bringing positive men into your son's life, because I also feel if you do that, your son will take that and say, she really is looking out for me. She really wants me to succeed because look who she's bringing into my life.
Right.
That builds more trust too.
Right.
So it's, you don't have to, no, he's not going to talk to you about girls he's sleeping with or whatever, whatever he's doing like that. But the real things, the things that matter, like this girl broke his heart or this boy broke his heart, whatever it is, those things he can come to you. And he knows you understand because he's got your backstory and he's seen the lengths you will go for him.
Yeah.
And that's really all it takes.
But I will say that as a male, even for me, as a feminine male, right, there are certain skills as a man that I have to get from a man. That even with a healthy-minded woman who is, you know what I mean, who knows what a healthy man looks like, right? A man has to be able to teach a young man what a healthy-minded man is supposed to be. And so, you know what I mean? So those are things that I think both roles are very important. But I know we're talking about the mother and her having a better relationship with her son.
But that's why I said it's good that it's still good if she brings in positive male influence. That's why I'm saying it will only add to the trust he has with her. It'll only add to their relationship because he will see she's looking out for him and going the extra mile to have that in his life. And like I said, we don't even know if that's even a problem. It could be He could have a great father that's there for him. Now, we don't know the full backstory on that. But just to know anything positive you do for your children should be seen as that from them. Like they're going to see that and know, okay, she cares for me. She's looking out for me. And that should help to build the trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the next question.
Okay. So, the next question is, I just found out my husband has 2 kids from a previous marriage I didn't know about. He abandoned them and hasn't seen them in years. What should I do?
Wow, you scoundrel, or however you say that.
That twisted up in my mind, and I was like, what?
I don't know.
What?
I mean, wee.
Huh?
Ooh, your husband.
You scoundrel. You scoundrel. You scoundrel. Scoundrel.
Scoundrel. Whatever it is.
What's a scoundrel?
Her husband. Sir.
Oh, my God.
Lady, this is horrible news. The fact, what would get me is you have 2 kids that you're not taking care of, sir. Okay, that's a real problem with me right there. Okay, you could have told me you had been married too. That's a shock, but the bad thing is the 2 children that you have walking the planet that you never supported. Me and him, I would really want to know what else has this man hidden from me. We'd be in some deep couples counseling right now because I would have to really pick this apart. You were married, I didn't know. You got 2 kids. You first need to find these children or whatever's going on and start to take care of them if they're still, this is a horrible situation. We would be in couples counseling. And I would suggest that immediately. And you guys you got to go through this brick by brick because it's a lot going on here. The mistrust you must feel has to be, it has to be almost unbearable. So I would go to couples counseling if it were me and try to figure out what I want to do about this marriage and this entire situation.
Lamar?
The key word for me is trust. And it will be completely out of the window if I was the wife. There would be no coming back for me. If I found out that you had 2 kids that you haven't taken care of and a wife, ex-wife, that you just left and abandoned, that would be over. What else do I need to know? What do we have to work on? As far as I'm concerned, you will do anything. So I'm done. There would be no counseling, no coming back for me. I would be done with him.
Yeah, I think it comes down to what kind of person you are, the woman, finding this out, and what kind of person you thought you were with. Because for me, I would never so much as speak to a man that abandoned his children. He would never get a word out of me, let alone a relationship. So for me, I think it's just going to come down to who you are, who you thought he was, and who you now know he is. He is a man that would abandon his wife and children, which means he will abandon you and yours. And even if he says that ridiculous line of I was different then, no, you weren't different.
Right.
You're the same. Every day you spent out of your children's lives confirmed that you're the same dirty dog that you were the day you left.
Boom.
And so I think in in a different, if this woman was financially tied to this man, had children, maybe she might want to try to work it out.
She might.
But even then, I think it would be a mistake, because this has pulled the curtain, and the wizard is a little rat.
Yeah.
Okay? You got to get out. You got to get out.
And we don't know how she found out. He may have
Yeah.
told her. Maybe
Or
he
maybe
couldn't take it no
the
more and said,
woman found out about her and called her up. I mean, or the kid found
the
them.
kid. Who knows?
It's so
Oh, my
much.
God.
It's so dirty.
It
It's
is.
so rotten.
Ooh,
And I would even say he does not deserve you.
No.
There's no way he deserves a good person. So even that is enough to walk away, because he does not deserve to have anything, as far as I'm concerned, until he fixes what he's done to his children.
yeah, he got to fix that. And we don't know if they have any kids. Like, if they don't have any kids,
It's
he
a
would
clean break,
never
yeah.
see me again. It's nothing to work on. But if you got a whole family already, she's got kids too. These are her kids' siblings.
They'll get over it.
Oh my God. I mean, the thing, what he would first have to do, like I said, is work on what you did to those children.
Well, yeah.
You
So
need to fix that. I
the-
mean, you can't fix it, but you can start from here.
Right. So basically, it's a wrap on this. I'ma just say.
Oh my God.
I mean, I know that
It's a
for me,
wrap.
I'm very. I think it's about knowing who you are.
Oh,
You know,
wait.
what you will and will not accept is a part of knowing who you are.
True.
And for me, it was a wrap. Before you finished the sentence, he had another family
He got-
I didn't know
He had
about.
2 kids.
That he abandoned.
He abandoned them.
Woo!
Sir.
Children.
Woo.
You can
Ah,
get out.
get out.
Wait.
I'm gonna help you pack. Okay.
Wow.
Where the boxes at?
You are
You
awful,
leaving
sir.
tonight,
Yo,
right?
kids.
You out of here tonight.
I mean, how do you even bring this up? By the way, did I ever tell
No,
you?
I don't think he brought it up. I think it was found out. I think either
Me too.
the ex-wife
Or
got
them
caught up with
kids.
her, or the kids found her on Instagram or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
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 and-
People find you on social media and be
Ooh,
like,
wait.
"You my daddy."
These days you can run, but your baby you cannot.
You
hide.
cannot.
Yo, that, and then she sees the comment. This little girl say you are daddy.
And then she
What
clicks
little
on
girl?
that link, which
Ooh,
leads
wee.
to that link, which leads to the truth.
And they might have his last name because he
Yeah.
was married.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Ooh,
And
wait.
these days they bypass him. They'll go straight to the wife.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's what
God.
I'm saying. I think somebody probably contacted, but we not gonna, we don't know.
We don't
but
know.
but what we do know is
He's out.
you need to get out. He need to get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. I feel like Dr. Seuss.
Oh my God. You gotta go. You gotta go. Yeah, ooh. These are some terrible people tonight. Y'all
Wow.
living reckless out
It's a lot going on out here in these streets.
Oh, yeah.
Sure is.
And so, but we are here to answer your crazy toxic
God
questions.
bless y'all.
Every
Lord,
Wednesday,
mercy
tune in to Ask Mama Podcast.
Help 'em,
That's
Lord.
right.
When we out here answering y'all's questions. And that's it for the questions. We're
Thank
actually going to
God.
move on now, believe it or not, to a new segment that I'd like to call What's Going On? What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
And in this segment,
Yes.
we will be talking politics.
My God.
Now, it's not going to be every week, but when something occurs that needs to be discussed, we're gonna venture into it. And we just witnessed the State of the Union
My God.
by President Biden. And I thought we were just going to be talking about that, but then it was
Honey.
this whole rebuttal from the Republicans by this
God.
senator from Alabama,
My God.
Katie Britt.
Lord.
And
have mercy.
how I came upon her, I didn't even see the rebuttal. I had turned it off after the State of the Union. I didn't even
see the rebuttal until I turned on TikTok the next day and was gloriously, I found a multitude of hilarious videos of this shockingly crazy woman from
this baby
Alabama.
crazy.
I mean, this lady, I laughed so hard. I ain't laughed this hard since the boat, since the fight at the boat. Remember with the hat?
Oh, yeah, baby.
With the hat.
You know what? Wasn't that in Alabama, too?
It was in the South.
It was,
I don't
for
know
sure.
if it was
I
in
think it's
Alabama.
Alabama.
But since the hat went up and they
Yeah, that was it.
That hat.
the
Baby.
memes associated
It's
with
on.
this woman are just as funny.
Yeah,
like
this baby crazy,
This
honey.
woman, when she was talking, I literally was scared. I was like,
Yes.
what's she gonna do to us?
Right.
Like, what is she gearing up? She sounded like one of them weird female Terminators.
Yes.
That was gonna kill us all at the end. You all have to die.
With a smile on her face,
Wait a
though.
minute, lady, what? What?
Don't worry about it. It'll be painless.
We're going back to the 1950s.
Oh no.
Don't you see my kitchen?
Right. Right.
I was like, what are you? What even is that?
Let me tell you something.
That baby crazy.
I was so petrified watching this.
Yeah.
That was the most bipolar speech I had ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah.
I felt like I was on, Purge 38. I
Yeah.
felt like I was living
Twilight.
All that
Yeah.
demonic smiling.
Oh,
that
it was
that
so.
fucking that
and then-
demonic got.
and then after the smiling, rage. I was
Yeah,
like,
then she
whoa.
got like
Yeah,
zeroed
she's
in and she was
crazy.
like, but I know Biden.
Yes.
Like, wait a minute,
Yes.
what?
Yes.
Did you see SNL? SNL?
SNL. Oh my God.
Scarlett Johansson had up to you.
Scarlett, we love you, Scarlett.
We love you, Scarlett.
You my girl now.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
That was, she had her.
The phrase
She had
she
her
had
did.
down.
She did.
The phrase "we've tamed the wild."
My God.
I registered that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was so much in that.
Yes.
Baby.
That it's like it really is. Let me
the
just
wild.
say this though. The State of the Union.
Oh my
So a lot has been said about the State of the Union, how hyped Biden was, but people really need to get on a track here. Either he too old and slow, or
Right.
and now he's too hyped.
Right.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah.
The man is
He was
alive
on
and
point.
well, and he was on point.
Sure was.
End of the story. And he called everybody out on their BS.
Yep.
He sure did.
And he stood on business,
He
as they say.
certainly
Yes.
did.
I mean, he even called out the Supreme Court while they were sitting right there.
You know what stuck out to me? That man almost said, Supreme Court, y'all gonna F around and find out.
He almost said,
He
did.
really did. I was
Yeah.
like, Joe.
yeah.
But he didn't say the
caught
F bomb.
himself.
Yeah.
But baby, he really
But he took it
he
to
let
him.
them know.
And
Yeah,
in
he did.
response, Trump comes out
Oh,
talking about,
God.
I'm the one who took Roe v. Wade. I did it after 54 years of trying. I'm the one who did. Like, he literally stood on the worst act he committed while president.
And you gonna F around and he gonna find out. Yes,
And
sir.
then in another story, I found out that because of all this with the crazy Britt,
Ooh, that
the
lady.
crazy
That
Katie
lady's
Britt,
nuts.
and the crazy Trump speech afterwards,
Ooh-wee.
Biden got like the most money to the campaign that's ever been received.
He sure did.
So there's your response, America.
Right.
Thanks, America.
In case the fake news traveled to your little corner of the world telling you that Biden bombed and it was a terrible night, blah, blah, blah.
No, it wasn't.
No.
But I do want to point something out about this Alabama senator. How did she become the senator in Alabama? Because not enough black people came out to vote.
That's true.
So now we always have to come back to this because that's what it always is.
That's correct.
While you're out here saying your vote doesn't matter, this lady literally exists
Nutcase.
in Congress because they don't vote enough in Alabama.
Alabama. That's
Black
right.
people.
The numbers are atrocious.
They really
I think
are.
Alabama, Mississippi.
Yes.
It is outrageous. So what I want, instead of just throwing it out and saying that and letting that be just something that angers me, I want to know what you need from me. What does Alabama and Mississippi, what do y'all need from us
Come on.
to get y'all to vote?
'Cause
If
I'll
you
do it.
want me to sit down, you want me to come down there and do some voter registration events,
Yeah.
some whatever we need to do to convince and to educate
Come
our
on,
black
Alabama.
brothers and sisters in Alabama, Mississippi,
Yes.
Texas, Florida. We need to do it now. We
do.
need to galvanize and do it now. We need to be working right now. This woman, Katie Britt,
Yes.
is a prime example of what has happened to Congress
senator.
as a whole.
sick.
They are everywhere. They have infested the government. And the way they do it is because they know you're not going to go out and vote.
Not.
And I will sit on this and stand on this for the rest of my life, whatever I have to do to convince my people
Yes.
that power is in the vote.
It's in there.
And if not just your vote, but a united vote.
Yes.
If black people got together and decided the kind of Congress they wanted, we could have it. I know
could.
that doesn't make sense because we're not the majority, but because our percentage is what it is, we level the playing field.
Yep, we
So
could.
when we vote, we tip the scales the way we want. That's how Obama became president, because we came out to vote.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
wasn't because white people came out to vote. It was because black people came out to vote.
And people,
Because they're going to come out to vote. White people come out to vote regardless. But when we come together and decide this is who we want to be president,
Yes.
that's who's president.
yes.
True.
Yes, and it goes deeper than just registering. It goes deeper than just being registered to vote.
Exactly.
Exercise the right. And people like Katie, she understands that there's power in our vote. That's
Absolutely.
why the Make America Great Again, the Living the American Dream, and I'm scared for my children.
Right.
Right.
And what's that gonna mean?
And this man coming out
And
with gym
that's
shoes.
why her main point in her ridiculous, nonsensical speech,
Oh my gosh.
the whole undertone of it was around abortion. Because at the end of the day, their main goal is to make sure they have more white babies.
Right.
That's
That's
all Roe v.
Right.
Getting rid of Roe v. Wade was just simply to ensure that more white women
Bingo.
have white babies.
That's it right there.
Bingo. And I have had conversations with Caucasian liberals about this who seem to be completely clueless about the fact that it has nothing to do, because they, in their mind, they compute that as, oh my God, this is going to be so bad for black, poor people of color.
No, it's not us, dear.
And that is not the case. The reason why is because, like you said, Caucasian women were having abortions at alarming rates in the states that made it illegal immediately.
That's right.
Right.
And you know what else? That IVF thing.
Exactly. that
White
too.
men didn't, those old guys didn't really know what that meant. Once this girl, as a matter of fact, Katie has had meetings with them and let them know, no, we want the IVF because that helps white people have babies too.
Yeah, that
And
have
so once the
infertility
men found
issues.
that out, they were like, oh, see, they didn't even know what
But
that
it's too
meant.
late because the Supreme Court got rid of it, and that was all
Right.
a part of Roe v. Wade. So oops. Okay.
Right.
But
Right.
that's where it gets you when you are a white supremacist. You end up doing things that harm yourself.
That's right.
Okay?
Because it's sick.
It's the same as how they always love to bring up welfare, even though white people are the main people on welfare. But they love using it as a talking point for black people. It's all there, and a lot of white people know it. I'm sick of the word liberal. I'll just say the white people with sense.
Mm-hmm.
They know what I'm saying is true. They vote the right way.
Mm-hmm.
They live the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You either got sense or you don't. I don't care if you're blue, red, green, or brown. Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you have sense in your brain, then you already know that regardless of if you agree with everything Biden has to say or whatever his agenda is or whatever, all I know is it can't be Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because our lives are on the line. This man is literally telling anybody who will listen that he wants us all to lose our rights so we can go back to the 1950s when we didn't have much.
Right.
When they just ran the board. They want to disregard everything that we have fought for the last 400 years. They want to go all the way back. They want to rewrite the Constitution.
Right. And if we don't vote, they will
And
be
y'all
able.
sitting, and so the group of y'all that are out here talking about, we gonna show Biden, we gonna teach him a lesson. You ain't teaching nobody but yourself.
Yeah.
You're
ridiculous.
issuing a death sentence to yourself and to your children.
And their
you
children.
let this psycho back in
That's right.
because we barely got away the first time, the
Sure
first
did.
4 years. You give this man, this criminal, with I don't even know how many felony counts at this point.
Oh,
Over
wow.
60
Yeah,
felony
it's a
counts to
lot.
this man's name.
90?
He owes hundreds of millions of dollars.
Surely does.
And it's still going. He's still got court cases out there. You name me a black man
Oh.
that could have a court. If Obama had a parking ticket that he never paid, it would be national news and
Right.
everybody would be saying a criminal.
He can't run for office.
He can't run for office.
right.
Not with this ticket.
That's right. That's
So
right.
so don't tell me. So don't be getting on your soapbox talking about how far we've come. No, we have not.
No.
Because really, all the racists were still here. All these years later, they're still walking around. They never went nowhere. For a few years, they had to go underground.
That's right.
That all ended
Yep.
years ago.
Yes.
When Obama became president in 2009, that was it, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then they said, no, we're not hiding no more. Politically correct, let's throw that out. Let's come all the way up. They started with the Tea Party.
Yep.
And
the Tea
now
Party did
the
it.
Tea Party has become MAGA, and here we are. And then them QAnon psychos
God.
are derivative from MAGA. So, I mean, this has been going on since
Decades.
2009 to 2024.
That's right.
That's
Worse
how
and worse.
long they've been building this up, and look at where it's gotten us.
Yeah. It's bad. It's real bad.
Pure turmoil right now.
Horrible.
Sure is. That lady is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, she's an anecdote.
Yeah.
She's an anecdote, something we can laugh at. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it always brings me back to us. Because I know that black people, this is where the work really is for us.
Yes.
The ones who know better. And I know it's a lot
right.
because we all have jobs, we all have bills, we got
Yes,
so
they know
much
better.
that we're dealing with. But we have got to get together and educate and inform with empathy
Yeah.
to the rest of our people. Because one thing I don't like is people antagonizing the group of us that don't vote or don't know any better. They don't know any better.
Yeah, they got to be
I'm
taught.
not going to come at you like I'm disappointed in you, like you're a disgrace, like you're beneath me. That's the wrong tact.
Yeah.
This is about empathy. If somebody didn't know, that's the same as saying you're at a street corner and you're from another country. You don't know that sign that's with the man with the walking sign. You don't know that that's what that means. So you just stand there. And that would be like me coming up saying, "What are you, an idiot?
Right.
Walk across." I don't read your language. I don't know what this means. But you expect me to walk across the street. You expect me to know
What that
I
means.
need to walk across the street. And that is what's happening here. We can't expect them to know if we haven't taken the time to inform them
Yeah.
with positive, reinforcement, telling them it's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay, but I'm going to take the time to share this knowledge with you.
Yes.
That's how you move forward.
Like my ancestor now, the great Joe Madison.
Yes.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
We got to ask ourselves, like you said,
Yeah.
what do I have to do? What are we going to do about this? That's what he said.
We have to make sacrifices. The ones who know. I'm talking to the people who know. You know better. You know that we all need to vote. You know that we need to be united on our agenda.
Yeah.
What do black people need? You know these things. You are the one who has to make the sacrifice. Step up and galvanize your people and be a part of the solution. Not just somebody sitting in the cheap seats complaining about the problems.
That's right.
So, it's a lot, but we got to do something. We got to take it just step by step.
We do.
We can make small steps.
We can.
That's right.
But that's it for that, y'all. We're gonna lighten this load up.
Amen.
Black people we got to lighten our load.
We showed. Yes, right.
Got to check on my fro.
Right.
Y'all gotta lighten my load.
And y'all, it is so fluffy.
It is.
It is. It's just so fluffy.
It is. It's a natural fluff.
My.
I'm really feeling it tonight. But we're gonna move on to recommendations.
All right.
Let's get into TV and films. Who wants to go first? Lamar, you want to go?
Okay. So my TV or my movie, well, it's a series. It's on Netflix. It is called American Conspiracy: The Octopus Murders.
Oh.
So good. It is a roller coaster. It sends you up, down, and around. Check it out.
Wow.
All right, Mama.
Okay. Well, I went back old school. Sometimes I like to look at old stuff. So on Netflix, I looked at the great movie Soul Food from 1997. It was fantastic to rewatch, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
All
Especially the
Soul
part
Food.
about
Terry.
what that girl did to the family.
We can't even say
We
that.
can't say
we can't
it,
even
but-
say that scene. But for all y'all who know, Vanessa Williams' scene
Right.
in the kitchen with her family.
Now that's a kitchen scene.
That's a kitchen
If
scene.
you're gonna be in the
Baby.
If
kitchen,
you're gonna be in the
And
kitchen,
you go, yeah.
it should be like that. I wish she could have came out on Katie Britt.
that would have been
that would have been epic.
hilarious. Woo! All right. My show. I have a TV show for this week. I just want to say, Abbott Elementary has its new season out. If you like the previous seasons, I think you will enjoy. There's some things that I don't really like. Like I just, I don't really like when the show adds new people. Because I feel like I like my crew. But they're growing on me, and I don't know if everybody's staying or going or whatever. I'm going with the flow. But we need to support one another. So check out Abbott Elementary. It's on Hulu. If not, you can watch it on ABC. If you still watch TV, I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in I don't even know how long. But there it is. Let's move on to books. Lamar, what you got?
Okay, my book is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale.
Okay.
All right.
So yes, take some time to read that book and change your thought process a little bit. Get optimistic.
All right. My book is called Grace Will Lead Me Home, and it's the autobiography by Robin Givens.
All right.
Really good book. What a life that young lady has led. I mean, we know her from Mike Tyson, but it's a lot of life in that book. Enjoyed it.
All right. My book is, let me get the right name, because I was going back and forth of which one I would say. But this is just one of those classic books.
It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And it's one of those books that all business-minded people read. And I found that out through just a random article about entrepreneurs and stuff. And found out that this is just like the book they all read.
Okay.
And so I just think that it's important for us as Black entrepreneurs to really focus in on those little key things that they educate themselves with, like these millionaires and billionaires. What are they reading? And what kind of strategies do they use from these books? And it's a lot of great information in this book, so check it out.
So,
Let's move on to music. What you got, Lamar?
all right. So my song that I have been putting on repeat is Dua Lipa, and it's called Houdini. It's one of her newest songs, and it is a jam. It's a bop. Dua Lipa comes out with some good stuff, y'all. So check it out.
Okay. All righty.
All right, Ma.
Well, of course, I'm old school again. I have been listening to the great Luther Vandross. A House Is Not a Home.
Oh, wow.
Album. Awesome.
My mind.
You know, I kind of been listening to some gospel.
Lord Jesus. Wait a minute.
And this song, Please Don't Pass Me By, Fred Hammond.
Lord have mercy.
So I cried, Jesus,
Jesus,
I need you.
I need you.
Please don't pass me by.
Don't pass me by.
I mean, it's a word, y'all.
I don't know.
Oh,
that.
I
I cried out, Jesus.
Jesus.
I'm not ashamed.
Woo! I can't.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I must
Oh,
listen.
it is
as
a
the
word.
deer
I mean, you
panteth.
want to just go to church just
Oh,
by
my
yourself.
God. It's
You
beautiful.
turn that song on and you
Yes,
just
sir. It'll
you just
suck
thanking
you right
you
into
thanking
the gates.
the Lord for all He's done for me.
Oh, my God.
Okay, yes,
Grace.
yes, mercy.
And I cried, Jesus.
It's a beautiful song, and then Fred Hammond is one of my favorite songwriters. His musical ability,
It's beautiful.
songwriting, his voice. He is the
Yes.
complete artist to me. In gospel, he's
Me
my
too.
favorite
He did.
gospel artist.
I go way back even with the other
with
when he was
Commission.
with Commission.
Yeah, cause you know that's my
Oh,
favorite song. That
yeah,
other
I
song,
know it.
but that's gonna be on another episode.
Yes.
But check out these songs, y'all,
My
because
God.
they are all amazing. All right. Those were our recommendations
Yes,
for the
yes,
week,
yes.
y'all. We hope you
Amen.
enjoyed them. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to DM us your questions for next week's show on TikTok or Instagram. Ask Mama Podcast. We have episodes every Wednesday, and we hope to see you again. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscription button, then hit the little bell. Do all the things so that you are notified of our next episode. We are also on Spotify. So if you want to just listen to our episode, you can find us on Spotify, Ask Mama Podcast. And we just, we really would love your feedback on how you think things are going. And we can't wait for the next episode. We're really been enjoying this and enjoying each other. And,
Right.
and building. It's really cool to do something positive.
I
Yeah.
agree. Totally.
It really is.
It
And
is.
And so we just want to thank all of you who have subscribed to our channel up to this point and have encouraged us to continue. We really enjoy that. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next
See you
week.
next week.